what's up? We have a 3 horsepower Briggs and Stratton. It's the newer-ish style before they went to that plastic nonsense. MTD Edger. Don't think that's the right type of belt, but I could be wrong. I know zero about this. Oh, it does have a clutch in there. Maybe it's not very new. Well, newer. It's confusing. I guess it definitely has its age. So yeah, it's probably decently old, but it's very heavy. It's in good condition for the age, and I know nothing about it. So look at the fuel first. Looks like it's almost empty, but the tank doesn't look rusted, so that's good. Let us take a look at this. I just realized I didn't even pull this over. I just got it. I work with someone that provides a lot of this stuff, and I fix it and find its new owner, and he finds it and brings it to me. So I know nothing about it except it was in a group of however many. Oh, it's actually not too bad. Maybe not. Cart looks pretty clean inside. That's a good sign. Let's just pull the handle, see what happens. So the gas that was in there don't look horrible. There wasn't a lot in there though, but I think there is probably enough to at least run if it is going to. Run half throttle. Run choke. Let's give it some help. No, the choke is off, by the way. Oh. I know I gave it more help than that. Okay, well, it will run. That's good. And before I put it on the table though, I did check for oil. It's old, but oil. Well, let's take off that cart. Looks a little oily in there. Not sure what that's about. Let us do 5/16. Take this off. Also, it's probably a good idea to shut the choke. These like to fall in there. It's not horrible, but the one time that you don't close the choke, it falls in there, the intake valve is open, and it finds a way to fit itself into the engine. Am I missing something? There we go. Yeah, well, looks to be pretty standard. Put you in a more optimum viewing angle. So it definitely has a little bit of grime. I should also say that when I got it, this entire thing looked like that, I pressure washed it because even if it's gonna find its way into the magical recycle bin, I don't want to have to be insanely oily and dirty just to determine that. The weird thing is, wow, yes, this is not new. It's definitely not as old as some of them, as the more recent ones I've done. But these carbs have a diaphragm in the back, which is probably most, if not all, of the problem here. And yeah, no, we need to change it. The old ones, though, didn't have that diaphragm. And they're more or less the same. I guess I just don't understand why they decided to do that. I mean, yeah, they want to have a circulating fuel and all that, but it just, I don't know. I think I would rather have it that one. It just seems like a whole lot less pain and hassle. Why am I getting hung up on here? Let me do some research. It's a couple days later, and I decided to finish this on probably the coldest day of the year. It's so cold, I had to do something that changes my tire entirely. I had to put shoes on. That one was not the funnest. But yeah, it's just that time of the year, I guess. Here soon I have to get the shop burner out. And no fun. The good thing about that is it's a small space, so it's not like it's going to be too difficult. So with this, I find it very both easy and probably best to take out this little screw, but this little screw does like to get lost very, very easily. You do have to remember some pretty interesting linkages, but that's why you're here, if I forget. Take a look at it. Oh, okay. Oh, that's the kill wire. Got it. We're just gonna leave that be, because my main thing is I want to get down to that screw. Of course, it's probably not big enough. Nope. Well, I'm gonna have to get a 3/8 out of this. There we go. So it may look nice and sunny outside right now, but it's cold. I think it's like 37 degrees, which I know some of you might be thinking, that's not cold. I get 37 degrees on a warm day. Well, not a fan of the cold. Hence the reason why I live in a place that gets very, very little snow. Ooh, I think I might even be able to get a ratchet wrench in there. Let me try. Well, if you look at that, usually this does not happen. The older ones, this is a lot closer to the actual throat of the carburetor. So it's basically impossible for this to happen. Luckily, this new-ish style, I just realized it's cold. I better turn on the cleaner, because it's going to have to go in there. Anyway, luckily this new-ish style decided to make it a little bit easier. There we go. Now, usually if you just give it a little pry and kind of look and see where it's separating from the gasket, you can probably save the gasket. If not, then I have others, but take the breather off. Yeah. Okay, so this is going to take a little finagling. I can see it already. What was that? Oh, the screw holding the carburetor on fell off. You want to make sure not to break this. How is this being held in? Which way is it? Oh, of course it's that way. There we go. Remember, this is on the top hole. Okay, well, let's take it over to the carb station. Unfortunately, our gasket did rip. It's not really too bad of a location though, but I have extras. When you buy a kit, let's see if I can grab it. It's here somewhere. There we go. It comes with like a thick little section, so, or thick little bunch, so I don't usually end up running out, because for whatever reason they're just a tiny little variations of each other, and those tiny little variations usually just line up. I've always equated to, like, they didn't actually want to redesign anything, but someone on a Thursday found out they might be getting fired on Friday if they didn't come up with another product, so they decided to redesign the gasket for a new carburetor. Didn't have time for the carburetor, so they just put out a new gasket. So this is the part that's most likely bad. This is a little diaphragm. The old ones would draw fuel directly from the bowl or the tank. This one draws fuel from the tank, spits it into a little bit of a bowl. It's like a little chamber that this sits in. That is open to the tank. In fact, throughout normal running, it actually overflows back into the tank because it pumps significantly more fuel in there than you will be using So it just kind of like recycles it over and over and over again. That process is the result of this diaphragm and this spring. It's not horrible, but it does need to be cleaned out. With the exception of the outside of this, it's really not in that bad of condition. That's definitely not too healthy. So I think this is an adjustable one. So let's see here. We have a half, like 3/4 turn. You can usually tell if something is adjustable or not by if it has this little spring on it. Okay, well, gonna wash this off in the sink real quick and kind of get all this dirt off so my cleaner doesn't get horrendous. And put this in the cleaner and be right back. So, all cleaned out, and I found out the jet is actually right there. It's not on the bottom. I looked at it and it's completely plugged up. And it looked like it was welded or something. So I looked at it a little closer and I noticed a little brass piece on the side. And lo and behold, it was a jet. So that explains that one. This part can always be a tad on the tricky side. I have to just guide up with a little hole first. So we don't really want to break anything, obviously, or rip it. Make sure that it's on right. There we go. Okay. So now, let's put these back in their spots. There's one thing you can say about Briggs and Stratton is they did not make their carburetors complicated. Not in the least. Maybe some of the big ones. What is the Nikkei carb? It's like half its plastic. Well, and there we go. Now, probably clean up this needle a little bit first, but yeah, I'm gonna put this on the wire wheel. It's a tad gross. I'm gonna paint this back, and we said 3/4. We'll do a tad more. Sometimes the first starting is a little rough. Now these, if you do not prime it in the beginning, you will have to pull on it for like 10 pulls before it actually circulates a few long enough to be actually picked up by the jet. So I'm going to put this back on, exactly the opposite how I turn it off, and be right back. Here we are. I put the throttle back on. Everything should be connected. I need an air filter. I have to plug one because I don't have one yet. I'll have to go to the store after the video, but it works. Oil. Put a little oil in there. Well, whole thing of oil. It was about 14 ounces, I believe. And should be ready. The belt looks perfect. The blade on it actually looks like it was recently sharpened. Like I said, it's probably going to take a few pulls because it's fresh. But let's see what happens. I also did not service the clutch because I didn't think I had a reason to, but it might squeal. If it does, we'll have to take it off. Wow, that was the lowest full throttle ever. I think I need a little tuning. There's this little hand right here. It's a little hot, so don't burn yourself, but I don't think it's bent enough. The throttle spring is not putting enough tension on there, so I'm going to bend it back. I'll try it again. I think I got it pretty good. I also put in a washer I was missing in the other wheel. It was kind of wobbly, so I fixed that. So let's turn it on, see what happens. Let's do no choke. That was scary. I saw something that I thought was like just fuel dumping down, but in actuality it was just like a piece of wire or twine that was on the bottom, maybe like a spider web, I don't know. I'll have to clean it up. It needs a good pressure washing anyway. But I think it's pretty good. I think I found out the reason why they put that belt on there. This is the one that you can swivel the head. Yeah. It allows you to swivel up to like 90 degrees. I don't know what lawn I'd be using 90 degrees on. Unless there's, I don't know, something at the curb or wall, I don't know. But, yeah, pretty good. Don't really think there's really much more to do. The exhaust could use a good sandblasting, but it's just going to get that way again in about a day or two if it ever gets wet. But I think that's about it. Well, if you like it, keep on watching. Definitely subscribe. Throw a thumbs up. That helps me a lot. I will keep on posting. You have a good day. If you have any questions, leave them in there. If you have any concerns or comments, or if this helped you, let me know what it helped you on, because this engine's pretty common. I mean, it's a 3 horsepower, but this goes down to 2, 3.5, 5. think it stops at 5 for this style. I think at the point of 6, it's a different carburetor. It's still the motor orientation looks exactly the same, but the carburetor is different and the tank is different, I believe. Okay, have a good night. See you tomorrow.